Hey, it's Jaden.
And Melissa.
And Christy.
We're the co-founders of Launchers Academy.
And we help dropshippers become successful by providing the most relevant e-commerce strategies.
You're tuning into the Launchers Academy podcast experience,
where you will learn all the ins and outs of how to build your very own successful dropshipping store.
So kick back, take lots of notes, and let's make money this year.
All right, are you not from North America? Well, the episode is actually going over, can you be a dropshipper if you don't live in North America? And a lot of people wonder this, especially if they're new. And here's the bad news. There is no bad news. You can dropship if you don't live in North America. So we're going to go over, why this is possible and that you can dropship. Doesn't matter where you live in the world. However, disclaimer, there are just going to be certain challenges you would encounter depending on which part of the world or country you're in. So ideally, yes, if you do live in North America, things will be a lot easier for you. But that doesn't mean you should completely stay away from dropshipping if you don't live in North America. Because even with dropshipping alone, there are always going to be challenges. So your goal is just to, be able to overcome these challenges. So at the end of the day, if you're not in North America, then the good news is, yes, you can dropship it still, but you will have challenges. So we're going to kind of go over them here, and I'll start with Melissa. So when you hear the question, can you dropship or start a dropshipping business when you live in North America, what would be the first thing that comes to your mind?
Can you start a dropshipping business if you're not in North America?
That's correct.
Yeah, of course. Because, as Jaden mentioned, there will be challenges that you're going to face because you're not in North America. So, for example, it might be hard for you to go to a store and try to see, what are the trending products that stores are trying to sell when you're trying to sell to customers in North America, like the US or Canada, but you're not there yourself, right? But aside from that product research aspect of it, everything is available as a tool for you online that you'll be able to use just with having a computer in front of you and with your mobile phone, that you don't need to physically be in North America for you to start dropshipping to customers from there. And maybe an added advantage for you actually is, depending on which country you are and where you are based, you might actually have better advantage as it relates to the inventory and supplier side of things, because it might be cheaper to produce a product in your country that you can actually ship off to Canada, United States, United Kingdom, and Australia later on as well. So depending on where you are, really, it can act to your advantage as well. But nowadays, with how internet is and the opportunity for everything to really be global, no matter where you are, this is very, very true for dropshipping as well. All you really need is a laptop in front of you for you to set up your Shopify store, for you to set up your Facebook ads, and then you just have to launch your product. And supplier fulfills everything for you, so you don't even need to worry about that inventory side of things.
Yeah, and I love that. And going back to, what dropshipping is, you don't have to hold inventory. So it's not like you're going to be shipping out of your country, because certain countries, it does cost a leg and an arm in order to ship out to a different country. But the beauty of dropshipping is you don't have to do any of that. All the logistics, all the operation in terms of product fulfillment, product receiving, and all that, headache stuff, I would call them. It's done by the actual supplier. That's why dropshipping is so good for anyone in any part of the country or world to start off with. Now, Christy, a question here for you is, what are some challenges, one or two, that someone might find if they're not in North America dropshipping?
I think one or two challenges would be, so the largest market is, the North America, the US, right? So when you are setting up your store or your Facebook ads, you want to really target this particular audience as well. And that's where, having a really good understanding of the biggest market is really beneficial to really being profitable in dropshipping. So, for example, your store, you might want to cater it more towards the U.S. Consumers, and having your store in USD, and also using language within your store that appeals to people more from the U.S. So more American English within your store, so that you can really communicate with them and really pitch your product to them. So I think one of the challenges is understanding the bigger market that you want to sell to. So when it comes to your store, again, with your Facebook ads, you really want to cater to this particular target audience, which we find, US being the biggest market. So that would be, one thing I definitely recommend looking more into, especially when you are setting up your store and your Facebook ads.
Awesome. And Christy brought up a great point is, targeting the bigger countries. And the reason why that is because they're proven to buy. So one of the misconceptions as a dropshipper, especially if you're in the different parts of the world, is that you have to be only selling in your local area, your own country, which is not true at all. What you actually want to do is disregard that and sell in countries that are proven to buy, which are typically your bigger and more well-known countries like the UK, like the Canada, like the United States and Australia, and the list goes on. And a simple Google search of that will let you know in terms of which countries spend the most in e-commerce or online. So knowing that misconception is you don't have to just sell in your countries where it's probably not as proven or people don't buy a lot. So I just want to point that out is because most people think when they live in a certain country that they have to drop ship in within that country and things cost way too much to ship within that country, or they don't see results just because the culture in that specific area is not geared towards buying online just yet, right? So you're probably too early. So I just want to point that out. But another challenge as well that I'm going to also get you listening to understand is if you are in different parts of the world, payment provider, payment gateways might be a challenge you encounter. And it really depends where you are, but most of the times, payment providers do accept a lot of different countries, but there's certain ones they don't. So do your own research and figure out, whether are the popular payment providers that actually accept you. So, but for the most part, is PayPal would be the biggest one that actually accepts from any parts of the world. But just really taking in consideration that it might be challenging for you to be able to actually open up a bank and accept the payment and all that, which you should definitely understand and consult with someone in your area for that. So payment will be a challenge, but what's rewarding is the fact that you can do drop shipping anywhere in the world, and it doesn't really matter. So with that being said, I'm going to pass the baton back to Melissa and ask her, so how would someone that does not live in North America really prepare to be successful as a dropshipper, especially if they're in more of like the less preferred countries?
I think one big thing is really just doing your research, right? So, as Jaden mentioned, a lot of the PayPal or payment processors like PayPal and some other ones, they might not be available in your country. However, the good news is they are expanding. So a lot of these payment processors have expanded now into a lot of different countries that wasn't previously available. So definitely check that list. And they're only going to continue to expand into more. So there's going to be even more opportunities. But it's also making sure you're setting up yourself for success by when you are doing your product research, for example, really refining and honing down on what are the trends in North America, in the United States, top, 2022 trends in the US by certain niche, or et cetera and et cetera, to really help you with finding the products that people are actually buying when they are not in your country. So that is going to be a little bit harder, but it's definitely, you can work around that by just doing appropriate research and doing a little bit more of that deep diving with the internet.
Hey, it's Jaden. Are you enjoying our episode so far, or our episodes before that? Well, if you are, we just want to thank your loyalty and support for listening to our podcast, because we cannot grow without you. So that's why up to this point, we're going to give you exclusive access where no one else has in order for us to help you succeed in dropshipping. And this is how it's helped our students become successful. And what we are going to share with you is one of our proven steps in order to find winning products that we believe you would enjoy. So in order for you to claim your exclusive access, all you have to do right right now is open up your desktop or your mobile and go to launchersacademy.com/method. That's launchersacademy.com/method. And you'll get a lot of value from there. And also, more importantly, you'll find out exactly how to find your winning products and how it's helped our current students find their winning product. And you'll be on your way to success. So that's launchersacademy.com/method. So the goal is to focus on what's doing well in the more popular countries and not your current country, because at the end of the day, if your country is not geared towards like buying things online already, and it's not having the proven data that you need based on the fact that, let's just say, for example, if you target the US and they're spending like billions and billions of dollars in e-commerce, they're going to give you better data in terms of what people are buying, why they're buying it. So that way you can build a more successful dropshipping business. So the rule of thumb here is try to not focus so much on your area and your country of what they're buying if they're not amongst the most preferred countries for dropshipping. And I would just say the most preferred countries in dropshipping right now is what we call the core four. And that's your US, your Canada, your UK, and Australia. So being able to do a deep dive in those core four will give you way more data of exactly how to prepare to find products to sell if you're not in North America. So Christy, same question to you is, what is one thing that they can also really take a look at to help them prepare for a successful dropshipping business?
Yeah, I think that kind of goes back to what I was talking about, like on really understanding your target audience. So especially when you are putting together your store, that's super important, or any creatives that other people are looking at, really understanding who you're targeting again and what their interests are, and really making sure that the products you pick also solve those pain points that they have. I think even no matter where you are in the world, these tips do apply when you are selling to someone, your target audience. So especially with your store, you want to make sure that it's ready to capture those sales and attract the target audience that you want to reach and sell your products to. I think no matter where you are in the world, those are very important things to consider.
Awesome. Love it. And my tip here, and to kind of wrap it up, is really being able to set aside a good financial egg for you to get started, right? So what I tell a lot of our students, and I'm going to tell you here, especially if you're not from North America, you want to have at least $1,000 tuck aside to get started. If you don't have $1,000, don't get started. And I see far too often a lot of people who get into drop shipping and then give up and don't see any success outside of methods, support and all that. It also kind of comes down to finances and not being able to have the enough capability to keep going. And what I mean by that is being able to have the proper financial amount of money to keep testing products. Because with drop shipping, it's not about finding one product and then that's going to be your $1 million product. It's about testing until you find something. And people, they would just literally have some money, like $50 or $60, get started in drop shipping. And then when they blow out the $60, they think drop shipping don't work, and they just stop at one product. That's a wrong mindset to have. So tucking inside $1,000 is going to make all the difference. And what that covers is pretty much your advertising costs, your product testing costs as well, and also setting up the platform, and also being able to have the apps you need for your store, which we'll dive more in a later episode exactly what costs you're going to have to invest into as you start drop shipping. But at least $1,000. If you don't have that $1,000 today or when you start, just don't get into it. Just save up and do it the right way. Don't just kind of just get into it because you have FOMO or you're afraid that you're missing out on anything. At the end of the day, you're not really missing out on anything. But if you're going to do something, do it right the first time. And especially with finances, you need to make sure you have enough to be able to play the game. So hopefully that makes sense. And if you're not in North America, good news is you can start drop shipping. We work with students all over the world at a global scale, and they make it work, whether they're from Hong Kong, whether they're from Singapore or Switzerland or Italy, or it doesn't matter wherever you're in the world. It all happens. Students from all over the world can do it. Just different countries will incur different challenges, but all those challenges will be able to overcome. So it's not completely impossible for you to get started. So with that being said, hopefully that gives you listening some words of encouragement to get started in dropshipping and not worry about where you are situated at this current time.
Did you enjoy this episode?
If you did, which we believe you did, as we dropped a ton of value.
Support us by giving us a 5-star rating.
That's 5 stars, not 3, not 4, but 5 stars.
Also, we'd love to hear from you, so please leave your comment below.
And we'll be sure to get back to you. Take care, and until next time.